9:59. It's time to go. Just about. Where's there? Yep, yep. Let's go. Good evening and welcome to the Metropolitan School District Board meeting. We want to thank you for being here in person or virtually. I'm Matt Hankins, President of the School Board. To my left is Heather Staggs, Vice President. Luke Jackson to her left, Secretary Dan Conway, who's the board member, and Jackie Decker, board member. To my right here is Superintendent Eric Mullen, who will be here eventually, and Assistant to the Superintendent, Mrs. Susie Lips. If everybody would please stand, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Some other comments I'd like to add. We have public speaking message. A visitor can speak on agenda items, may do so at the discretion of the president. The visitor will be required to state his or full name and be given the opportunity to speak not to exceed 3 minutes per person. Effort to fairly adhere to the 3-minute guidelines for all speakers. We'll present a timer on the interactive panels. Board members will listen to speakers, but not engage in back and forth conversation. Board feedback or answers to questions will be provided before the next board meeting or at the beginning of the next board meeting. At the conclusion of 3 minutes, speakers will be asked to return to their seats. It shall not be permissible to orally present or discuss complaints against individual employees of the MSD of Martinsville at any Board of Trustees meeting. Such charges or complaints shall be presented to the Board of Trustees in writing and shall be signed by the person making the charge or complaint. Boisterous conduct shall not be permitted at any meeting of the Board of Trustees, nor will any defamatory or abusive remarks be tolerated. We appreciate everyone's civility in maintaining a business order as it has been the practice at school board meetings. Also, we allow public speaking messages at the end of the meeting. At the completion of this regular school board meeting, a visitor that wishes to speak may do so at the discretion of the president. The visitor will be required to state his or her full name and given the opportunity to speak, not to exceed 3 minutes per person. In an effort to fairly adhere to the 3-minute guidelines for all speakers, we'll present a timer on the interactive panels. Board members will listen to speakers, will not engage in back and forth conversation. Board feedback or answers to questions will be provided before the next board meeting at the beginning of the next board meeting. At the conclusion of the 3 minutes, speakers will be asked to return to their seats. It shall not be permissibly to orally present or discuss complaints against individuals, employees in the MSD of Martinsville, or at any Board of Trustees meeting. Such charges or complaints shall be presented to the Board of Trustees in writing and shall be signed by the person making the charge or complaint. Boisterous conduct shall not be permitted by any Board of Trustees meeting, same as the agenda items. We appreciate everyone's civility in maintaining a business order. Thank you. Okay, the first item here is to appoint board officers as finance officers for the district. Historically, we have had the same officers as what you have for the board, but that does not Okay, do I have a motion to appoint the board officers as finance officers or any other type of motion of how you would like that done?
I'll make a motion to keep it as to mirror the board officers.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion to keep the same officers as the board of officers for the finance officers. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, so our next item is the Board of Finance overview. And if you look up here, and I need to put my glasses on. If you look up on the screen, you'll see what we have as a district. The balances as of 12/31/23. So at the end of the year, you'll see that we have Citizens Bank, Key Bank, Citizens Bank, another CD, then BMO Harris, Lake City Bank, and then the ECA CD at Citizens. And you'll see the amounts, 4.1 million in the first one, 2.088 million in the Key Bank, 550,000 in the Citizens Bank. BMO Harris, we have 2.056 million. Lake City, let's see, that's 2.052, and then the ECA at Citizens is 100,000. We also have depositories where they actually go for each item, and you'll see that Harris Bank takes care of our payroll. BMO Harris is the money market account. Citizens is food service, preschool, and bond accounts. Home Bank takes care of accounts payable and money market account. Key Bank is scholarships. The Morgan County Community Foundation takes care of endowed scholarships for the district. And then we have BMO Harris, which is the ECA account, which is a separate bank account for the corporation. So that's what we've historically done. And I think last year, whenever we were able to move some money around, we were able to capture some interest from the deposits that we had before. And that right there was a good move for us. I think it was a hefty amount for us. So we'll always be vigilant, trying to move money, put it where it's the most bang for the buck for the district. If you ever run across anything question-wise, you can forward that to me or Whitney Kuzmal, who is our treasurer. And I really want to applaud and thank her. Big shout out to her and Jay Staley with Baker Tilly for helping us really manage those accounts well.
Do I have any questions from the board? All right, none appearing. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting of finance?
I'll make a motion. We adjourn the finance meeting.
We have a motion to adjourn the finance meeting.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning the special session, the Board of Finance meeting, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next is our regular scheduled school board meeting, regular session for Thursday, January 18th, 2024. We'd first like to recognize the student recognition today, the Lilly Scholarship recipients. So I'll hand that over to the MHS administrator, Mr. Jeff Bell.
Martinsville High School is very fortunate and proud. We've had scholarship in Indiana
had to file by August the 25th. It is selected, reviewed, and selected by the Community Foundation of Morgan County, so a great group of people there. And two outstanding young ladies, Campbell Cox, and I'll let them talk. I'll cue them up and have say a couple things. Campbell Cox and Sarah Miller. Wait, Sarah is such a great, she's working at Grand Valley taking her dinner break right now just to come to the meeting. So she was out at work. Why don't you guys come up? Campbell, come on up and tell them where you're going to go to school and what you're going to study. Come on up here.
So I haven't quite decided where I wanted to go because I was accepted into DePaul and Franklin. And they both gave me very generous offers to cover my room and board. So with the Lily, that's basically a full ride. So I haven't completely decided. I'm leaning towards DePaul just because they have a couple more like programs and amenities like a farm and an orchestra, both of which Franklin does not have. But I want to study early education, maybe be a teacher. And then something agriculture to minor in. Haven't decided on that yet though. So figuring it out still.
Sarah Miller.
I'm probably going to go to Purdue, study pre-vet, because they have one of the best programs in the country for it. I'm also leaning towards Purdue because they have a pretty good card team too.
I'll mention too, the Lilly Scholarship covers all tuition and fees, plus I think what, $900 allotment for books and incidentals and things like that. So monetarily, it's wonderful, but very prestigious scholarship. We're very, very proud. You know, a reflection of the school, their teachers, their families, but what quite an honor, two outstanding young ladies. Appreciate you honoring them tonight. Campbell Cox and Sarah Miller.
Congratulations. Yes.
Yes, congratulations. Very prestigious award. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the public comments regarding agenda items, and I've already stated our public speaking, and we have no one speaking on the agenda items. So we will go forward. The next we have is the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of passing the consent agenda, say aye.
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 Motion's carried. Next.
Next, we have student field trips and professional travel for staff field trips. We do have a couple here. We have the Glacier Football Clinic. We have several of our coaches going to the clinic, and that's in Cincinnati, Ohio, February 23rd through the 25th. No district funds for this field trip. And then we have the Martinsville High School Wrestling Overnight in Evansville, Indiana. And that is for semi-state followed by state finals. So I recommend approval of both field trips.
Okay. Do we have a motion for the field trips for the Glacier Football Clinic and also the MHS Wrestling Overnight?
I'll make a motion to approve the student field trips for both of them.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'll second that.
I have a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor of the Glacier Football Clinic and the MHS Overnight Wrestling, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And next on our agenda is the Curriculum Instruction Assessment Report. Mrs. Susie Lips.
Thank you, Mr. Hankins. Good evening, everyone. Curriculum information, academic instruction, help, tutoring from teachers after school. Martinsville schools host after-school programs for students at all of our schools. Details about the after-school programming are distributed by each school. Grade 11 SAT testing dates are March 5th, and we have students preparing for that at the high school also. Third graders will take iRead beginning March 4th, and grades 3 through 8 students will be taking the iLearn beginning in April. So testing dates are listed, are listed on the screens around the room. We have some highlights there, as you will see. One of the first to come is the WIDA testing for our English language students. Then February 5th, we have grade 10 will be taking the iLearn ECA biology test. March 4th, grade 11 SAT, and April 8th through the 19th SAT makeup. March 5th, we are beginning grades 3 and grade 2, the opt-in I Read 3. Also on our agenda is Indiana's alternative measure I Am testing, the I Learn for grades 3 through 8, and then the summer administrations of I Read. Well, Wednesday progress reports. The MSD of Martinsville has distributed Well Wednesday progress reports to students, staff, and parents. Data is being collected and will be organized to share with the school board and our school community at the February meeting. It is important to remember that Well Wednesday time is used to support rigorous classroom instruction. Well Wednesday time is not for regular staff meetings. The purpose of Well Wednesday is to provide a time for professional learning that is instructionally focused. This year, our district goal has been centered on the response to reading in the classroom. And the instructional focus for every professional learning community that meets on Well Wednesdays falls under one of the following educational categories: monthly New Teacher Academy and Google Classroom onboarding, mentoring, sharing best practices, technology and programming for STEM skilled trades trainings, in-house experts and partnerships with conducting orientation and implementation support, our Special Ed IEP Academy, Title I, counselor, frontline team, and high ability groups all meet. Trainings for them are on best practices and establishing consistency. Media specialists also meet on Well Wednesdays at designated dates, along with clinic staff. All of these things are happening during Well Wednesdays, not regular staff meetings, but the focus, again, is on rigorous classroom instruction, and everything is instructionally focused. Also, our safety team efforts are established during Well Wednesday with creating systemic protocols. And also, we do building specific professional development along with data analysis to provide targeted instruction based on student needs. More about Well Wednesdays to come, and thank you everyone in the community, staff and parents and students who have already participated in those surveys. We still have some to collect, and we'll be sharing that data soon. Important dates that are coming up for our district this spring and as we finish out the winter months. February 17th, we have a Martinsville High School Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremony. It will start at 5 p.m. in the Martinsville High School cafeteria, and the celebration will continue in the gymnasium that evening during a basketball game. February 21st, we have 8th grade student parent open house and our Martinsville High School academic and programming showcase at the Martinsville High School field house. That runs from 6 to 8, and that's for everyone in the community, whether your students attend our schools or not. You are invited to see what's happening in Martinsville schools on the showcase evening, February 21st. February 27th, we have a Math Bowl practice session at Bell Intermediate Academy. February 29th, we have a district robotics showcase for the entire district in the Martinsville High School field house. That's a huge event. And if you've never been to a robotics showcase here in our district, That's something that you really need to attend. March 28th is our kindergarten kickoff in the Martinsville High School field house from 5:30 to 7. That's when we'll pick up all of our new kindergartners, and many of those will come straight from our preschool classes that we teach in many of our schools. April 8th, Solar Eclipse Path of Totality will be an asynchronous learning day. That's an e-learning day on Monday, April 8th. On April 9th, right now we have a scheduled synchronous learning day with live instruction, and we'll give more details about April 8th and April 9th again at next month's meeting. On April 9th, also, we have a district math bowl competition scheduled at Bell Intermediate Academy. That's a statewide competition. And on April 12th, Morgan County Unified Track Meet is at Ciderwitz Field at Martinsville High School. April 12th and 13th, we have the District Fine Arts Showcase at the Art Sanctuary here in Martinsville. And May 24th is the biggest event of our school year when the graduating class of 2024 proceeds through the commencement ceremonies at Martinsville High School in the John R. Wooden Gymnasium beginning at 7 p.m. So we have a lot of exciting events heading our way, and we hope you can share in with us at those events. There's lots of social media going out, social media pushes going out during those time periods so that we can remind you. But if you ever have any questions about instruction, curriculum, or anything with onboarding or human resource, job applications, or enrollment, please give me a call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Lips. Do we have any old business?
No, we do not have old business. Well, I will give one update for old business. You can look around. We have a new podium there. We have new wiring run. We will have new cameras set up, hopefully within the next month. So we won't have the camera system back there in the back. It'll be coming from the ceiling, and new sound system picking up everybody speaking. So that is in the works. It's one of those things, I guess it's on a boat from China. I don't know where it's coming from. But it's going to take them a little bit of time to make sure we get everything done and done appropriately. So that's soon to be happening. That's all I have for old business.
Next, we have action items. Mr. Boland.
Okay, the first action item, I would like to put forth Mr. Conway's name as the legislative representative for the ISBA for Martinsville.
I'll make a motion to nominate Dan Conway for the ISBA representative.
I'll second. Heather second too.
We really
You really want you to do it, Dan.
Yeah, any discussion on that?
We have a motion to appoint the legislative ISBA representative as Dan Conway. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The next item is to appoint a representative to the Redevelopment Commission for Martinsville. And I would like to put forth Mr. Luke Jackson's name to continue in that role.
Do we have a motion to put Mr. Luke Jackson as the Redevelopment Commission representative?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion.
I'll second that.
We have a second to appoint the Martinsville Redevelopment Commission representative as Luke Jackson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next.
The next one is appointing a member to the Morgan County Public Library Board. And I would like to put forward the name of Jamie Heacock. Mrs. Heacock would be a great representative for us on the library board.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion
All
that
right,
we appoint Jamie Heacock to the library board.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried.
The next one is Resolution 463 that you saw in your packet, which authorizes investments of public funds. I recommend approval of Resolution 463.
Do I have a motion for Resolution 463?
I'll make a motion to pass Resolution 463.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to authorize the resolution of 463. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next one is authorization to sign for alternative placement. This is updated yearly with board positions. We need to be in compliance, so I make a recommendation that we update with the current board positions for having authorization to sign.
Okay, do I have a motion for the authorization to sign for alternative placement?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second for the authorization to sign. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next one is salvage surplus items. You saw a list from Mr. Stout. That's worked very well for us. We've been able to clean out some of our storage areas where before we were saving everything for a final year wrap-up sale. This has allowed us to clean that stuff out and allow us to move stuff around a lot better. So I recommend approval of the salvage items.
I'll make a motion to approve the salvage surplus items.
I have a motion.
I'll second it.
I have a second to approve the salvage surplus items. All those in favor of this to approve the salvage surplus items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next one is request to approve the cancellation of outstanding checks. You have a list of those in front of you. I recommend approval.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the request for the cancellation of outstanding checks. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next couple are a couple of grants. We'll put 8 and 9 together since they go hand in glove. We have Literacy Matters grant, one to Poston in the amount of $2,500 and one to Perrigan in the amount of $3,000. For the Poston, that is going for book bingo for literacy incentives, and for the Perrigan, it's going to be used for literacy incentives, literacy NI, I think is what it is called. So I recommend approval of both of these grants.
I move to approve both grants. I'll second that.
I have a motion to approve both Literacy Matters grants for Poston Road and for Perrigan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
I want to point out here, you saw Literacy Matters. You've seen the number of grants coming down for reading, the science of reading. That's what the state's initiative is. And we've been very fortunate to be receiving many of these grants and trying to put them to good work. And the Well Wednesdays are being utilized to make sure that we are doing this to the best possible advantage for our kids. So I'm very pleased with those. So thank you for approving them. The next set is for donations. I will go ahead and we'll put them as one vote like we normally do, but I'll read each one. Donation from Sharon Tutterow, Mrs. Tutterow, to Martinsville High School's orchestra in the amount of $500. Donation from Tuttle Construction to Martinsville Indoor Percussion and Band, their ECA account in the amount of $1,250. Donation from Zebart of Greenwood to Martinsville Indoor Percussion Band, their ECA in the amount of $750. Donation from Bailey and Wood to Martinsville High School Athletics in the amount of $2,000. Donation from Mr. and Mrs. Samuel Lassiter to Food Service in the amount of $1,094. Donation from Advantage Manufacturing to Food Service in the amount of $5,196.65. Donation from SCI REMC Operation Roundup to Perrigan in the amount of $5,900. We have a very generous community, very supportive community, and I recommend approval of all these wonderful donations.
Do I have a motion to approve all the donations?
I'll make a motion, we approve the donations.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve all the donations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next on our agenda, we have the public comments and announcements. I already read earlier because of people signing up, the guidelines for the public comments. Courtney, do we have anybody?
Hello, my name is Daniel Pond, and I am an educator. And I have fallen down 7 times, but I've gotten up 8. Why do I keep getting up? I have hope. I have hope because of what I believe. And my faith is acting on what I believe. I believe God is love and celebrate His good design in this creation. I also believe that American education is good design, fundamentally. And that learning is a type of faith because there is a desired hope for the future. As a child becomes conscious of future, they have hope in, quote, what I want to be when I grow up. They naturally gravitate towards the way they are designed. And yes, I fiercely believe in good design. Good design principles require the utilization of all 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy of education. But there has been and still is an evil element that taints everything. We as educators are commissioned to reveal good design and how it's sabotaged. We should be teaching how to navigate these twists and turns because we've been there and hopefully have been taught by other loving adults. Love is still a choice, not a feeling. Yes, it generates emotion from the receiver, but the giver makes the choice. There is also a sense of fulfillment for the giver, but the choice still has to be made. Love still means being patient, kind, not being rude and arrogant, preferring others over itself, not being easily angered, keeping records of wrong. It hates injustice and evil, but rejoices in truth. It bears up, it believes, it's hopeful. Love endures and never fails. 1 Corinthians 13 from the Bible. Do we still believe that it's wrong to steal, kill, and destroy? The 10 Commandments said so. Do we still believe it be corrupt to deceive, lie, and cheat? The 10 Commandments say so. These are still truths of the Judeo-Christian values America was founded on. Truth, love is fundamental to good design for humans and our interaction with each other. It's not who is in the educator's seat that matters as much as who is in the educator, who is in the educator's seat. We as educators don't love because it's expedient. We love because it's right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pond.
Good evening. Happy 2024. Just want to make a comment and want you to know that myself and a lot of people are standing behind the school as it pertains to the transgender issue. And so praying for the school and like the stance that the MSD is taking and trying to protect. So the other thing I wanted to ask, and I'm not sure what the status is, we had talked last fall and maybe as early as August of last year, and I don't think we've gotten any follow-up on Jennifer Oakley's position or situation, the outcome to that. So I just wanted to find out if we could learn what the board decided or the outcome of that situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Campbell. That's all we have. Okay. Next, we have the superintendent's comment, Mr. Boland.
Okay, you didn't say comments in plural. I guess I'm getting a new directive from the new president. Okay, so I will point out the Zombie Prom tickets, the next musical for MHS. They'll go on sale January 25th. You can go on the website and you can get the information. I have never seen this musical, so I can't speak to the musical itself, but I can speak to the talents of the students. They are fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing a new musical for myself and seeing them put forth another great show like they did with Beauty and the Beast. The performances, you can mark your calendars, are February 16th through the 19th. That'll be, once again, they've historically been doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So they have an A cast and a B cast, and they each get to do 2 performances. February 16th through the 19th, Zombie Prom. That's the musical. Also, a lot going on right now. Senior night was tonight for the swimming team. We had that just a little earlier. We have a number of our teams in competition right now. Basketball teams are in full swing. Wrestling is going on. They're actually at home this evening. And we have robotics competitions taking place. We have made a big push, an investment as a district in robotics over the last year or 2 years. And we're going to see them in their competitions tomorrow, or actually Saturday. Tomorrow being Friday. Don't know about tomorrow yet with the weather. I'm going to talk about that at a different time. But they will be in competition at Ellettsville, Edgewood, on Saturday. So we're excited to see them put their foot in the water of competition. So it'll be kind of a nice new thing for them. Let's see. We have the dance team will be in competition. They were in competition last weekend. They're doing an outstanding job. You talk about a talented group. They won a couple of the categories. We're looking forward to a wonderful show again. If you get an opportunity to watch them, get out and watch them. That is, believe it or not, that's all I have, except for the weather aspect. Parents, grandparents, families, pay attention to the weather. Remember, there are 2 avenues for any snow day type of makeup that we have. We have asynchronous e-learning that takes place, which is the old-fashioned e-learning where the teachers put the information out electronically and the students get 5 days to complete the assignments. That's an asynchronous e-learning day, okay? That's one avenue. The other one is real time, which is another e-learning day, but it's real time when the teachers are actually on a schedule with the students. So everybody knows that we'll have one or the other. We only get 3 asynchronous days per year, and we have one that we've already used up. We have another one earmarked for April 8th with the solar eclipse. We have one more that we can utilize. Obviously, we have inclement weather that's moving into the area tonight. We will make a call by 5:30. Listen to the media. You'll also get your text. You'll get if you've signed up for those, you'll get your text. You'll get your all call. We'll get you that information 5:30 in the mornings whenever we make that call. So just wanted everybody to be aware of that. So pay attention. And if you get one of those calls early in the morning, make sure you answer it or at least listen to the message, okay? That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Boland. Appreciate all those events. Hopefully, some of us will try to get to most of those. Now, do we have any board member comments?
I'll say this morning it was kind of neat. My daughter has joined Math Bowl, so she's excited about that, partly because she gets to go to Starbucks beforehand. So, but she enjoys that and talks about the people on her team, the different things they're learning, and looking at a lot of the different grants and positions that are being pushed for literacy and improving that. I think that's exciting because kids are excited about learning, and I appreciate the pushing for improvement with reading because if we can read, we can do a lot of things. A lot of doors open, but if we can't read, that a lot of doors are shut. So I appreciate the district as well as really the entire moving toward that.
Any other board members' comments?
Well, I will just say congratulations to my grandson, Grayson Ferguson, the spelling bee champion at Poston Road Elementary. I don't know the other champions, but I congratulate them as well. But I know that he won at Poston, so good job, Grayson. Speaking of reading, and just want to say that you're looking forward to serving on the board as we come into the 2024 year. So, what a privilege and an honor that it is to be sitting here, and I sincerely mean that. And lastly, speaking to the bad weather, make sure you get on your Skyward Family Access account and go to your Sky Alert tab and make sure your numbers are accurate so that you can get that call in the morning. So, but hopefully you don't have to make it.
I hope not.
Yeah.
You're
Mrs.
more than
Deckard,
welcome to join me on the drive if you
Okay,
want
all
in the
right.
morning at 4:30.
we are going to recognize all the spelling champions next month.
Oh,
So they'll
awesome.
all be here and get a shout out and special recognition.
Good, good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Dan, you have a comment?
Yeah, I got a couple things. Happy 2024 to everybody. I think, as we look at 2024 being a challenging and rewarding year with elections and different things coming, the economic signs are concerning. So it is one of those years I'm optimistic about, even though it's going to be a challenging one. But I do think, as a board member on my second year, like Jackie mentioned, it's an honor to be on the board. You learn a lot your first year. The second year, what can we do different? What can we improve on? And I think, one thing I've said as a business goal as well as a board goal is improve communication in 2024. What can we do different? And I would ask people for feedback. I know there's a little bit of maybe hesitancy from time to time to give feedback to the board or anyone up here on front of the group. And I think that's something we've got to continue to look at. Improved sound is something simple. When you listen to this meeting at home, it's not great. We know that. We're embracing that. We're going to fix that. I think that's how we're going to make a better presence as we move forward. A couple things that I made a few notes on, and I get a middle school voicemail every Sunday. Have you ever listened to that? And when you listen to that, if you touch your phone or you say a word, it resets, and that thing is. So when we listen to it, we're all like, everybody's quiet. Don't let the dog bark. So, or it'll reset and start over. So there's, maybe we can improve on a text messaging system instead of that voicemail, or maybe it's my iPhone that just really doesn't like the message.
Well, is it Mr. Cuttriff calling you?
Yeah, so if you hit
don't
anything.
want to miss
I
Mr.
know.
Cuttriff's
I
dialogue.
like it once, but it starts over from the beginning.
You don't
So,
want to hear him over and over again,
So when you
believe
think
me.
about communication, it's like, that's probably an opportunity. What can we do to make it better? It doesn't have to be perfect, but to get better at that. I've asked to see the Well Wednesday surveys before we roll them out to the public. I think sometimes I like to see it. As a board member, I think we have the ability and the option to do that, just to say what's coming, what does it look like. I filled it out. Some of those are requiring names, and I think some people have a little bit of fear of retaliation. If I put my name to something, which I did, and I put my comments on there, which I did, I don't think everybody's that honest from time to time. So how do we do those surveys? I would definitely want to hear the feedback from the folks on that, and just really try to improve the communication. I know we're moving from tries to semesters. I've heard a little bit of that recently. Fallon and I and my wife actually worked on her schedule yesterday just to make sure she has the right classes. So I think all of that is how transparent can we be? Um, you know, it has to improve. I think it can improve, and I think the commitment is to improve on that. When we look at the item J on the board, items on future agendas, I think that's a big piece, and I've asked to see what is coming, so you know what's coming, so I know what's coming before we get the packet, the Friday before, the Monday before the meeting. So anything we can do, it's going to start with communication from the public to the board, and then also the board being curious about what's going on also. So that's my commitment. I enjoy it. I think some days it's a little bit chaotic, but life's chaotic, and I think you embrace that as we move forward. So I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Dan. Heather, you have anything to add? I just have one comment. I do want to say academically, the DECA competition Martinsville participated in this year. There were 5 students, and they also have a school-based enterprise that they submitted for certification to DECA. So I'm pleased with Bobby Cragen being the DECA advisor. That's another avenue academically that our students are doing. And also I wanted to thank Mr. Jeff Bell. He took time to come up to Monrovia to judge an event. So I appreciate all that Mr. Bell does at Martinsville High School tonight, and he's always there. So I appreciate what he does. and Mr. Bolin, and Mrs. Lips as well. So I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. I'm trying to get used to this new position as being president. It's interesting. So I want to thank you. And so I have nothing further on the agenda items. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We are adjourned.